Can y'all see me? Can y'all see me? Can y'all see me? Oh my goodness gracious. This is exciting. Let me fix my headpiece. I'm good. I'm straight. I'm good. I'm good. Oh man, this is the first time ever I've ever done this. I'm live right now on 3 platforms. I got IG, I got Facebook rolling, and I even got my YouTube rolling. Right? We out here. I'm live. Like I don't even know why I wanted to do this, but I had to do it. And I couldn't really. Honestly, I didn't even give thought to the name of this particular message, but it was something that hit me over the weekend. Is the inspiration for this video comes from a lot of different places. So, but before I get anything go further, if you don't know who I am, because it's your first time seeing, my name is Miguel Brown, and I'm just here to deliver. I'm all about people. I'm about the overall well-being of an individual. Period. You know, some of y'all don't know it. Like I said, I'm streaming this on 3 different things. So my YouTube is Miguel Brown Midweek Medicine. Of course, Facebook is just Miguel Brown. And then on Instagram, some of y'all may or may not have paid attention to it, but I changed my Instagram page, my motivational page, from Mindset Motivation to Come Alive Inspiration. And the reason being was because lately I'd been thinking about a name change for my motivational page for a while now, because mindset, y'all know I live by change your mind, change your life. But that just wasn't saying it. That wasn't enough. It needed to be, it was something needed to be more to it. What's up, everybody? You know what I'm saying? I got people saying hi and everything. So it was something that needed to be more to it. Well, this weekend came up, and first and foremost, my brother Joseph, stay with me because I'm going into story mode as I give y'all this. So I'm gonna kind of give you a little background to why I changed the name real quick. Not a lot, but just a little bit. And why I decided to go with Come Alive Inspiration. So he asked a question to myself and my wife and my other brother and sister. What do we need to do to close the gap? What do we need to do to reach our audience, be more effective with our audience and things like that? And every time that question is asked me, I would get stumped, because the basic guideline for speakers, is that you come up with a particular niche or problem that you can solve, that you can speak to, that you can address, and that's what you go hard in. And I could never answer that question. Well, on top of his question, I also came upon a quote that I heard in another video. And that quote was, don't ask the world what the world needs. You ask yourself, what do you need to come alive? And then do that thing. Do the thing that makes you come alive, because what the world needs is more people to come alive. Right? So I was like, whoa, that was deep. And once again, it took me back to my calling to speak. And I realized a powerful thing, that I am a pastor's son. And I've never been under a teaching that was one specific thing. But the one specific thing that remained the same, and that's the thing that makes me come alive, is not to just see you guys do better, be better, get better, but to see you guys deal with the things that you have internally, right? Get to the point of the pain of all of the things that you've dealt with in your life, the habits you picked up, and all of these, the negatives that you've had to deal with. Deal with it from that area so that you can be a better person. I don't need to speak to you about being a better father or being a better wife, a brother, sister, son, co-worker, whatever, a better boss. Because if we can deal with the point of your pain, if we can deal with your internal issues, if we can touch that stuff and make you better from the inside out, then what that's going to do is, in turn, that's going to trickle down into everything else. Because you get here, you get better here, then it's gonna work. It's gonna work itself over into your marriage. It's gonna work itself over to your relationship with your kids, your relationship with your friends, the type of boss you are, in all of these other different areas. It's gonna spill over, and that's what I want. That's why I want to see everybody get better and grow in, right? But see, this is not an easy. That internal area is not a hard. That's not an easy area to deal with, because that internal area, you got to be honest with yourself. And when you bring it up, you got to be honest with people. And not only that, it takes some ownership, right? Just because until you do that, you're stuck staying the same individual with the same problems, the same emotional problems, mental problems, spiritual problems, all these different things, until you start dealing with this. Till you start dealing internally. Like, and you guys hear it all the time. Change can't happen out here until it happens in here. So that's what I want to focus on. That's my main goal, is to deal with an individual's internal situations, right? That thing that you won't talk about around anybody, but it's a small group of people, for anybody, that you'll tell about. I want to touch those areas that, when the lights go out and the room is quiet, this is what's running through your mind. This is the things that's keeping you up. These are the things that, you tell people you're okay with, and you hide very well, but you're really not. Let's just go ahead and say the mask you wear, you know what I mean? That facade you put up. I want to break down that stuff. That's what my overall goal is. That's eventually what I plan on doing. And that's what I want to do with anybody that'll hear my voice. Let's break down this facade, these walls, these barriers, and let's get down to you, who you really are, who you were meant to be. People say, oh, I'm just angry. That's just how I am. That's not how you are. God didn't create you that way. God didn't create you to be an individual who's pissed off all the time. That's not how you were made. Stuff happened to you and you're that way. That's the defense mechanism you put up. That's why you are. But if we get down to it, let's figure out what this thing really is. So with that being said, brings me to story time. Okay, so this comes from some individuals that I know, and it's a heavy story. It's not anything light, and I spoke with them earlier just to make sure that I could share the story. I won't give any names or anything like that, but I'm gonna lay it on you. So you basically got two individuals, and they finally get pregnant, right? And the pregnancy is amazing. They have, they find out what the sex is and everything. They name the baby and all these different things. Family and friends know about it. Everybody's excited. You just can't wait. And along the lines, the new mom and dad, they learn some things about their unborn child from the doctor. And they're heavy things. This baby will be born with all type of complications. We'll have to go under a lot of different type of surgeries and things and procedures and stuff like that, not too long after the baby was born. So the individuals, they were faced with a choice that they had to make. And any parent in this situation it's a hard situation. They were faced with the choice to make whether they birth this baby and this baby will live a life of pain and surgeries and procedures and a lot of time in the hospital, or they could terminate. And one cost of this was that the wife, the mom-to-be, could potentially lose her life to go on with this pregnancy. So of course for the husband, it was easy for him to decide, like, nah, if it's this child who I haven't met yet versus my wife, my life partner. I'm sorry, I choose my wife. And they made this choice, and it was done. And if you've ever been through an abortion or anything like that, I can imagine, or the loss of a child, especially throughout the pregnancy, when you got the name picked and your colors and all that other stuff, and to not have, or to have to even make, as a parent, to make that choice, how heavy that must be. Like, that's not an easy thing to bear, especially for the mom to be. All right, like for us men, for the fathers, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different for us. We don't have the emotional connection. We don't know this individual. We can hear the heartbeat through the sonogram and everything, and we can feel the kicking and everything, but that connection that a mother has with her child while going through pregnancy, a man will never know what that's like. I'm sorry, we just won't. It's no words that can even make us understand what it is that a mom feels throughout that time frame, right? So, of course, for mom, it's heavy, it's hard. Somewhere in there, their relationship does get stronger, but it's still hard for the mom, and it's going to take some time. It's a process. She's getting all the love from family and things like that, and friends, and making sure that she's okay. But of course, along the way, she's got some issues that she's got to deal with now. She's angry. She's frustrated. She has guilt. She feels like a failure. It's hard for her to even be in the house where they set up the room for this child. So you can only imagine the things that's going on. For somebody, an individual that's filled with joy and happiness, and when you see them, they bring you happiness, and but to be down and feeling all of these bad emotions, these negative feelings. And see, the longer you feel it, the longer you think about it, the more they get seeded down in you. And you got roots that take place, and it gets harder and harder to deal with these things, right? Meanwhile, she does have her faith in God, but, with everything that's happened, it's wavering a little bit. It's wavering. Like, God, after all of this time, why? I'm a healthy individual. How could I have to? Why would you put me in the position to make that the choice? Why would that even allow a child to be formed in me like that? And it makes us make that choice. Why? All of these different type of questions and these frustrations and these up and down moments that you have, right? And you gotta imagine she's having these breakdown moments, and it's rough on her, and oh my goodness, like it's not a game. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. Husband can only do but so much, because once again, you just don't understand. It's not a book that you can read or anything to help you get through this. You literally have to go through this step by step, day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour, right? Until, of course, mama gonna have some breaking moments, and she's gonna have them, and eventually she'll have a breaking moment that takes you outside of your comfort zone, right? And I believe God places individuals in our lives at the right time, so that when we have these breaking moments, that it's somebody there to do just as Christ did for us, to say, me too. I understand. We know what you're going through, and it will be okay. And we're gonna help you work through this. And just for a second, you're able to get back up on your feet, and you get a moment of clarity. But it's still hard. You still got all of these different emotions and these things going on that's happening to you, and the way you're feeling, and you don't know how to talk to your family. You don't even know how to be in the world. You kind of shut yourself out when normally you wouldn't do that. You're trying to get back to your regular routine, but that's hard because you got all of this stuff on the inside that you battling with. When you look into the mirror, you don't see the same person. Your vision's distorted. It's not the kind of filter that you want to see, right? But then God come along and puts you in an uncomfortable position. And within this uncomfortable position comes the right healing. That right on time healing, right? That thing that you needed. You see, because mom ended up at a place that she normally wouldn't go. It was out of her box. It wasn't what she used to. But at this place, a word was being given and it touched her in the right place. See, mom couldn't even go into the bedroom that they had set up, right? And after this message, after this word from God through this other pastor reached her, she was able to walk into that room. And when she walked into that room, it was her facing every emotion, every thought, every feeling, every sentiment, every moment that she had been going through. But it was a uplifting and a freeing breakthrough because of the what she felt, the peace that she felt in that room. She described it as almost as if her baby girl was telling her, it's going to be okay. It's all right, mommy. I'm in good hands. Live your life. Live your life. Come alive. It's time for you to come alive. It's time for you to come alive. The place that you're in, you're dying daily. It's a slow death. It's like a cancer. I need you to come out of this, mommy. I need you to come out of this, mommy. I need you to be strong. I need you to get better. God says it's going to be okay. He got you. He got me. It's all right. It's okay. And in that moment, mommy, she got a revelation. In that moment, mommy felt weight lifted off her. In that moment, all of those negative emotions, the feeling of guilt and failure and being angry and sad and all of these confused, all of these different things, they were lifted off her. The weight was given away. The weight was taken away. I would like to think that in that moment, she was made whole again. She came alive again. You see, a lot of times we're praying for a healing, right? We asking God to be healed. Heal me from this. Heal me from that. Heal me from this. Heal me from that. And he does it. But see, in your healing, in those scars, right? As they're healing, they itch. They're irritating. They may even still have pain. But eventually, once they heal all the way, that pain goes away. Right? But you see, we fail to see our scars as just a reminder of what we've been through and that we came out of it. Sometimes we look at those scars and we think we still feel that pain. But see, that's when God steps in and say, I healed you already. I'm in the middle of healing you already. While you keep praying and crying over this healing, I'm doing a different thing. I'm working on your resurrection. So you asking for a healing. You asking to be healed. But I'm working on your resurrection. That's two different things. See, Christ was resurrected. And when he was resurrected, he still had his scars. Still had the holes in his hands. And those were reminded to say that this is what I did for you. It was also proof that he was Christ. But it was also to say that this is what I did for you. This is what I sacrificed for you. I'm resurrected. Now it's time for your resurrection. It's time for you to come out that dark place. It's time for you to come up out that grave. Right? And your dark place could be anywhere. It could be dark in your mind, some depression you feeling, those bad feelings, all of that stuff. But it's time to come out of it. It's time to come alive. You can ask for your healing. I actually implore you to keep asking for your healing. But just understand that eventually you will be healed. And after you're healed, now it's time for your resurrection. It's time for the resurrection. So I want you to think about that quote that I said earlier. Don't ask what the world needs. Figure out what makes you come alive. Do that. Because what the world needs is for people to come alive. See, if you're still dying and you're still dead to the situations that you've had in the past or to what you're going through because of what you're holding yourself to, the hostage you're holding yourself as a victim and the hostage that you're holding yourself to, you'll never come alive. You walking around like this, like a zombie, straight walking dead. It's just what it is. So it's time for you to be resurrected. It's time for that new you to come up off of that ground, to come up out of that dirt, to come through all of that stuff that you've dealt with, to rise like a beautiful and bold, powerful individual that you are. See, it took moms some courage to walk into that bedroom. The place that she didn't want to go in there because of what it made her think of and how it made her feel and what she thought that she would feel. But God said, I need you to go into this place. I need you to go into this place because you think it's death in that room, but it's life in that room. The place that you think is going to be the hardest for you is going to be the place that I give you life. Life in abundance. But I need you to walk through the door. I need you to walk through the door. I need you to walk through the door so that not only you can see your healing and understand your healing. You can see your scars and understand your scars, where you've been from and where you came from. But now I can resurrect you. I can bring you to a place where now you can stand tall. You can look back at that and say, yep, we went through that. We experienced that. And to God be the glory because he brought us through it. And we're better than what we was before. Our marriage is better. Dad's better. I'm better. Dad is even more better because now he can see that wife is better. Right? And now life goes on. Life moves on. And from that, new life will happen. See, I don't doubt that one day mom and dad will get the baby that they want. But until that day, they could have never gotten to that place if they stayed in that dead place. They could never get to the new life as long as they was hanging on that old death. Right? They had to come alive. But more importantly, wife and mommy had to come alive first. That's it. Come alive. Come alive. What makes you come alive? I'm not just talking about in a positive way, right? Like me speaking to the internal parts of you helps me come alive. I can do this without getting paid every day. But I ask you, what makes you come alive in terms of what do you need to come alive? What old baggage do you need to get rid of? What door do you need to walk through that you think if you walk through that door it's going to kill you, but really it's going to give you life? Who do you need to let go? What do you need to say? What do you need to address? What do you need to own up to so that you can begin to come alive? Because until you do that thing, you're walking around dead. Zombie. Right? So, I'm going to keep y'all tuned as long as. That's it. I want y'all to think about this story. And it's not just a story. This is an actual person's life. This is what I'm thankful and I'm grateful that they let me share the story and use it as a tool to illustrate the fact that until we address certain things, we just walking around dead, right? I appreciate y'all for checking this out, chiming in. Until the next time, from the box. I'm Miguel Brown. I see you see me. I'll check y'all later, alright? We out of here. Let me shut all of these down. Let's see. So in that one.